this is my 16.2 techniques of coaching assignment. So the 3 techniques I've chosen to look at are goal setting, demonstrations, and individual needs. I'll be looking at where these will be best used, the negatives and the positives of these, who they'll be best used on, and how within which sports these will be most effectively used. Goal setting. When setting firstly to look at goal setting. When setting a goal, you should always base it around the SMART targets. These are specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time phased. So start with specific, ensuring that all your training is, your goal is specific to your sport, and that and specific to ensuring that you are able to see those improvements in your position maybe, or within your role within your sport. Secondly, measurable. Measurable is important to ensure that the goal is measurable, so you can physically see the targets and the progress you're making towards those targets. So, for example, a long jumper might set his targets of increasing his jump by, say, 5 centimeters in 3 months. Achievable. So this is ensuring that your target is ensuring that the goal is something that can be achieved fairly easily. It's not too hard, and it is something that will, with the hard work, be able to be achieved. Realistic, so ensuring that the goal is realistic to the individual, and ensuring that they are able to see the rewards of this and to benefit realistically from the target. And finally, time phrase, which is ensuring that the timescale given to the target is realistic. So, for example, saying that you're going to increase your 100-meter sprint time by 1 second in a week. That isn't realistic. But ensuring that you do this maybe over a 3-month period, that would be more realistic. Two extra targets, which could be included to make smarter targets, is exciting. So ensuring that the goal doesn't get boring, possibly repetitive, so that it's an exciting goal to move towards. And recorded, so you can record how well you are being able to work towards this goal. Goals can be both primary and secondary. So a primary goal might be within a rugby team to potentially win the league, but a secondary goal would be possibly for the team to make sort of 500 tackles throughout the season. And goals can be short term, medium, and long term. So short term, you're looking at more sort of in the next game, I'm going to score a goal. Medium term might be that you look to score sort of maybe 5 to 10 goals within the first 6 months of the season, and then long term will be at the end of the season I want to have sort of 25 goals plus. Goal setting can be used with all abilities, as the targets can be however easy or however hard to achieve, depending on what skill level you are. So someone's skill level might say that they have to achieve sort of 5 accurate passes a game in football, whereas a more high level player might look to complete sort of 25-30 passes a game in football. And then goal setting can be highly motivating, as once the target is set, the participants then become committed to completing that goal, and this works as a highly motivating factor. Goals can be set for both teams and individuals, and it is likely that if you're within a team, you've got the goals for the teams that you're trying to hit, as well as goals for you as an individual you're trying to hit. The coach has to understand the level of improvement which is actually achievable, so ensuring that the targets aren't too hard. Otherwise, individuals might become unmotivated as they just don't believe they're going to achieve the end goal of reaching the target. It becomes a bit of a hindrance to performance and wanting to participate. Coaches must be committed as well as the players to achieving this goal. The players can only do so much in trying to achieve. The coaches also have to be committed to ensuring that they see the players through their development to reaching the goal. And also, when setting the goal, it's important for communication between the coach and the players. So this is to ensure that both believe the goal fits the SMART principles as mentioned before, and is something that is challenging enough for the player to achieve it, but to not be dragged down by that. And nearly all sports will benefit from using goals, as most sports you want to see some improvement during your participation within it, and by setting goals, this allows you to have that measurable stick, like measuring device to see those benefits and see those improvements within your participation. So I believe that nearly all sports require or have a space for goal setting. However, the negatives, as mentioned before, targets can be too hard for players to achieve, and if the communication isn't effective, then the goals are going to be unrealistic, and the players are going to become unmotivated and not believe they're going to achieve them. And this is mentioned below. Next up is demonstrations. Demonstrations is very good for beginners and more experienced athletes that want to learn a new skill or technique, as this allows them to really break the skill down and also to have that visual image of the skill. So this will help for people that perhaps have learning difficulties or language difficulties. Maybe if there's a language barrier there, this just gives them that chance to really break the skill down, slow it down, and to see the different parts of the movement or skill that you're trying to learn. It's more effective with smaller or individuals, as it really, first of all, obviously it has to be seen, so large groups won't allow for this, but also it's really that real close, the fact that the coach probably needs that closer view of it, just to really, so you can really see every aspect of the skill. And also it helps individuals that are perhaps more visual learners, as obviously get the visual aspect of it. It links to the social learning theories. Obviously, it's that theory of you seeing something visually and then being able to copy that skill, reproduce that skill to almost identically what you've seen. It would also be helpful for when coaches are doing demonstrations. They may use videos and images as well as physical demonstrations. It's all about creating that visual picture of how that's going to really help a participant. And obviously it allows for the slowing down of more complicated moves, which may need a bit of repetition from the group if they're particularly complicated moves. And it just allows for individuals to really gain a visual aspect of that. And it would be most beneficial for sports such as swimming, racket sports and football. All of these are quite technical sports, especially with something like swimming. The coach might stand by the edge of the pool giving demonstrations of what kind of movement they want with their individuals or groups. Racket sports, obviously, the technique of the shot or stroke, and football, obviously, shots, passes, sort of defending. But these can also be demonstrations. Can also be used. So you could also get a group to demonstrate. So although it will be more difficult, more technique-based stuff, where you sort of maybe if you were defending a corner, getting people to a group to stand in the positions you would want them from a corner, and having a run through like that for the rest of the group to watch. These are all ways of building up that visual picture and allowing people to learn that new technique, or beginners to gain a really basic knowledge of what a sport should look, what the shot or technique should look like. The negatives, however, are that if coaches perform the skill incorrectly, the player will also mirror this. So, for example, if going back to swimming, if a coach is used to maybe performing a backstroke incorrectly, then the participant is going to pick up those bad habits, which are going to lead to problems when they actually start to race and start to competitively perform, as they won't be able to work as effectively as they're making these mistakes. Also, a bit of verbal communication, a commentary maybe during the demonstrations is also always needed, as it just adds to the detail, and it really helps the individual to understand what is really required, not just seeing it, because obviously if they see it they might not quite understand what's going on without that real verbal aspect to it, adding to it. And also, with more complicated things, if the coach only performs it once, or perhaps they have a bigger group and they don't see it, this demonstration is going to be ineffective. It's not going to be really helpful for the participants to use a demonstration, as they just won't gain the benefits from it.